is the new instant mega hit banana game on Steam that's been raking in millions of dollars by using bots and exploiting unexpecting players, allegedly a scam? Well, yes and no. In April of this year, an odd-looking, very unassuming, and frankly pretty scammy-feely game appeared on the Steam front, looking fresh and very banana-like. Despite literally not having any mechanics or playstyle, the game somehow managed to rise to the top of Steam and currently, literally right as we speak, has more than 300k active players playing, easily surpassing some of the most globally popular games, not only on the platform, but worldwide. Seriously, Dota 2, Once Human, and Elden Ring, all taken to the cleaners by a freaking game that makes you click on a banana repeatedly. Jokes aside, the game has nothing to offer to players. In fact, when it was initially released, it literally had no traction and was pretty much ignored by Steam players. But then, out of nowhere, in the span of a few weeks, its popularity skyrocketed and catapulted it into becoming one of the most played games on Steam. No chance shady stuff like bots might be behind this, right? Funny enough, this isn't even the game's peak performance. It's actually done better in the past than it is now doing, and currently boasts a whopping 82% rating on Steam. Just a few weeks after its release, it had managed to snag up double the amount of players it has today. Just last month in June, its player count peaked at about 890k players. And doing what? No one really knows. The banana game is marketed, and I use that term very loosely, as a clicker game where you simply just click on a picture of a very yellow banana in the middle of the screen. Every time you do that, the number on the screen will go up by 1, and well, that's it. That's the entire game. You click on the banana, watch the number rise, and keep clicking until you get bored. How very strategic. It doesn't even do a good job of being what it's advertised as, a clicker game. There's no sense of progression, no real gameplay, and to top it off, the art seems to be stolen from indie artists. So what is with the insane amount of active players it has? Here's the kicker. Despite its obvious lack of, well, anything, this game isn't even remotely suspicious in terms of how it's made. Just like every other average quick money game, it's built on everyone's favorite free game engine, Unity, and uses a pretty simple code that thankfully doesn't exactly scream scam at first glance. Even the game's in-game interface is as average as they come. Horrendous, no doubt about it, but pretty standard stuff. You download it for free. Unlike the developer's previous flop, click on the banana JPEG and you're greeted with some surprisingly decent customization options. There's even a 4K resolution setting. Fancy! You also get a Discord button that takes you to their official community and a full screen option. So at first glance, the game looks pretty normal, whatever normal is in this bizarre scenario. That is, until you spot a small button in the bottom left of the screen that redirects you to, you guessed it, a Steam market dedicated entirely to bananas, and only bananas. That's bananas. Now it's the Steam market pop-up that'll truly tell you what this game is actually about. How this game works is, it simply gauges how active a certain player is based on how much they're clicking, and approximately after every few hours, will drop a banana skin in the player's inventory. If this sounds familiar, it's basically the same drop system that Counter-Strike 2, previously CSGO, uses. You play the game for a certain amount of time, and after a while, you'll get some sort of reward for it. For the banana game, all you have to do is click every few minutes to let Steam know that you're playing it, and eventually, you'll get a drop. To get into specifics, you're guaranteed a drop every 3 to 18 hours. The 3-hour drop is common, while the 18-hour drop is a rare treat. More on that later in the video. You seriously didn't think there wasn't a catch here, did you? Well, for a game that looks this obviously shady, there's bound to be something up with it. As mentioned before, after all your hard work of clicking away or finding a way to have it done for you, you'll reach a point where the game will drop an item for you. What is that special item, you ask? As per the official Steam description of the game, it's a skin. Now, naturally, you might want to know more about this extremely mysterious skin. Whose skin is it? Well, the banana, of course. Kind of similar to the Counter-Strike and Dota 2 skins and whatnot, but is it even remotely the same? Absolutely not, because the skins you fatefully receive in the game are completely useless. You can't customize the game with them, and you can't even feel good about having them in your inventory because frankly, they're not even that pretty. So even if you do manage to get a rare skin, which you probably won't, you're stuck with like a weird icy banana picture that makes absolutely no sense and is just in your inventory for decoration. But wait, there's even more. The banana game uses tactics similar to those of other very high-ranking games on Steam, like Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2, and integrates its marketplace with the platform. What this does is, it allows players to sell and buy certain skins and merch on the market using the money in their Steam wallet. Counter-Strike and Dota 2 doing this makes sense, because, well, they're actual games with actual players who definitely like playing them and are very passionate about customizing their favorite hero or their favorite gun. But for banana skins in a game that's not even playable, and with skins that aren't equipable, it's a bit puzzling, so the only real use for these skins is selling them on the marketplace. The vibes of the entire ordeal change dramatically when you notice how active the game's Steam marketplace actually is. There are thousands of players selling banana skins there, each one more expensive than the last, with some of them being sold at jaw-droppingly high prices. The community market currently has 12 pages of banana skins being circulated within the marketplace, and that's 12 pages too many. Digging a little more into the marketplace will make you realize that no matter how much you play this ingenious game with a very steep learning curve, the only skin you'll ever manage to get is the common banana skin. How did I figure that out? Well, if you go on the game's community market and sort the banana skins by quantity, you'll see that the most number of skins being sold on there are the yellow common ones. And how many are there? A staggering 30 million in quantity. So it's pretty safe to assume that even with days of playtime under your belt for this game, you probably will not get a rare skin. But hilariously, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is how active the marketplace actually is. Some of the rarest skins on there, like the Siptic Nana, the Razor Banana, or the, check this out, the Sad Hamster Banana, with less than 20 skins available globally, are being sold on the market for more than $500, and people are actually buying them. On June 20th, someone actually managed to sell a Siptic Nana for $1696.27. Now, after going through everything, you probably think this game is part of some big conspiracy involving nations and government. You would be wrong, of course, but you wouldn't be completely off. Well, you see, the conspiracy here is the fact that despite how little the lowest selling banana price on the marketplace is, there are hundreds and thousands of them being sold every minute. Steam revenue model sort of works in a weird way. A part of the funds goes to, of course, the seller, another part to the platform, aka Steam, and the rest to the developer. Aha, here's where things finally start making sense. You see, even if you're selling the most common banana for just 3 cents on the market, every banana sold will not only get you some money, it will also get Steam and the developer money as well. Assuming around 10,000 3-cent bananas are sold daily, the developer and the platform could be raking in about $100 a day. However, since the earnings are divided among a very large number of players, the amount each player makes is obviously much less. Now, my maths aren't good, and these calculations are probably not the most precise way to measure the profit these people are making, but certain pretty authoritative websites like Forbes report that the developers and Valve might just be raking in more than 18K a day. Again, this may just be an overkill, but even if it is, being very generous with the calculation still gives you some insane numbers. So, there's definitely something going on here, whether it's something big or not. Additionally, there's another little factor that makes it even more shady. Surprise, surprise. The Banana Game's very own developer's Steam inventory is private. Now, you might be wondering why that's a problem. Maybe they just want to keep their inventory private for, I don't know, privacy reasons. True, but let's face it, that's probably not the case here. There's a chance that allegedly that most of the really rare banana skins are something the developer already has in their inventory. When a certain banana skin becomes rare, it might be that the developer already owns it and is putting it up on the Steam marketplace for whatever outrageous price it can fetch, which means more money for them. Sure, this might be a bit of a stretch, but given how odd this situation is, it wouldn't be too surprising if something like this were happening. All of this may sound pretty familiar to you guys. With how crypto started and the eventual rise and fall of NFT, the Banana Game is kind of running on a similar principle. Obviously, it's not quite at the level the previous two were, but it's pretty close nevertheless. NFTs basically just profited off of people's need to be different. Getting NFT meant they could have something unique that other people wouldn't have, which further meant that they'd be able to sell their their NFTs for a higher price to someone who was looking for the same sort of exclusivity. The Banana game seems to follow a similar playbook. The rarer a skin, the more people want it, and those who do manage to get their hands on one can profit from others' desire to own it. While it's a clever business model, is it the most ethical? That's up for debate, but not our job to settle. In any case, the game is ultimately as ridiculous and time-wasting as games go, so unless you're someone with an excessive case of FOMO, or someone who's just in it for the memes, there's no real reason for you, or anyone really, to invest your energy in something so nonsensical, even if it does make you a quick buck. That's all for today, folks. Let me know if the Banana game has still somehow managed to tempt you, despite everything you've seen in this video.